Now, our next speaker is a speaker. Some of you may have seen him. Some of you may have seen his ads, and you're meeting him for the first time in person. We are blessed as today he blesses the stage with a new suit, which you may not have seen. So there's already plenty of newness to come. He's a best-selling author, he's an international speaker, and he's also known as the holographics guy. Ladies and gentlemen, Cody McAuliffe.
So there I am. It's the 8th of May 2022. I'm in the kitchen on this side of the counter here, and there's one person beside me here and then two people on the other side of the counter, and we're having this conversation. I'm kind of munching on this muesli bar, having this conversation, you know, when you have to have this uncomfortable conversation where someone has one perspective and you have a different perspective. Have you ever had that experience before where you've got that stuff going on in your stomach and you're just like, okay, well, you can do that, and this is what we're going to do. And after this, the tension is kind of dissipated by this sound that sent chills through my spine. This sound that was like... And in that moment, everybody that was around the counter looked up. And the midwife said, "That's promising." So we start to, you know, step back, start to walk to another part of the house to see where my partner is and see what the screaming is bringing forth for us, because we'd been on a bit of a journey that night of having my partner's water break, watching Free Willy the night before, watching Free Willy on the couch. And it's taking a little while. We're having that conversation in the kitchen with the midwives about going to hospital, and you know, it's been too long. And we have the conversation around what we're going to actually do, rather than, you know, going down the pathway of ticking the boxes for the medical things. So we start to go into the bathroom where my partner is and start to see, and, you know, things are starting to move along now. Things are starting to happen. The midwife's saying things that I don't really understand, but I'm just nodding at that time. And gets to a point where it's like, all right, we're making progress. We're moving forward now. Let's get some towels. So we're getting all these towels. I'm taking my jumper off, putting it around my partner, getting all of these towels, getting serious now. Rolling up my sleeves, because the midwife's like, all right, you ready to catch this baby? And I'm like, yes. And all of these things are happening. Everyone thinks this is absolutely normal, and I'm just over here just like... In my mind, I'm like, is this normal? No one seems to be freaking out, but there's like some alien looking thing coming out of my partner. I'm like, it's like, I'm so close to the action as well. Like you watch birthing videos on TV and stuff, and it's like over there, and you're like, okay. But when it's happening, and you're this far away from it, and you're like, it's meant to do that? And I'm like, got like shifty eyes looking at people, and they're like, push, push. And I'm like, and there's gunk coming out, there's blood coming out. I'm like, is she pooing? What's going on here? Like all of these crazy things are happening, and everyone's just like, this is just normal. And I'm just like, looking up at each of the people, because we're all crowded around. And of course, what happens then? Our golden retriever starts to come in, and he's like rubbing up against me, going, because he wants to be a part of it, because as soon as there's some energy moving in the house, he's just like in there. And I'm like, yes, Charlie, yes, you're loved too. There's lots of screaming going on. It's okay, I think. So as it starts to progress more and more, I'm in there, I'm nice and close, I'm getting down, I'm like, all right, got to catch this thing. This is your first opportunity as a father. This is the first chance you've got to do the right thing, to not fuck it up, to not hurt this kid. So I'm like trying to get underneath here like this. I'm like, all right, I got to get close. Got to get closer. And I'm like literally putting my hands as close as possible, and the head starts coming out, and I'm just like, is that gunk stuff normal? I'm like, there's bodily fluids I've never seen before. I'm like, this is a bit weird. And it starts coming out, and I'm like, it's taken longer than I thought for one whole breath. And I'm like, still holding my breath. And I'm like, I'm about to be holding a life in my hands. What do I do with this? And this felt like an eternity. And I'm looking down, and the head starts to come out a little bit more. And I'm like, oh my God, that's a head, fuck. I didn't know what was coming out, because I just saw weird hair and all this muck and blood and stuff. I didn't know it was like, didn't even realize all of those things. I was like, and you know, I've got the perfect view. It's like right there. And I'm like, is it meant to stretch that much? I don't know if that's normal either, but you know, everyone seems to think that this is okay. So, there, hands out, and then, you know, the head comes out just a little bit more. And I'm like, right, get all of the things around there. The dog's still like bumping into me. He's like, I want to be a part of this. I'm part of the family. I'm the first child. I've got to be here. And then I look up and I see my partner's face. And she's just like, and I'm like, you can do it, I think. So I've got my hands out. And I finally start to breathe again from holding my breath the entire time. And then I start to relax a little bit more. I start to recognize how I'm just trying to control this like I try and control everything else. And I just let go. And then as I start to let go, the baby just like fully comes out, and it comes out. And then I catch him and scoop him up in my arms in a towel. Actually, I was down here like this. I didn't get up yet. And I literally just look at him. And my heart just cracks open with so much love for him. And I look up at my partner with tears in my eyes. And I wanted to say something profound. Because that's what speakers do. But I just sat in that feeling. I was just sitting there, looking at my beautiful son, having this most amazing, feeling washing over me as I started to stand up. I'm holding him, just looking into his eyes, being more present than I'd ever been in my life, like the whole world melted away. And all of the insecurities of stepping into parenthood started to wash away a little bit. A few more would drop in. Did you fully catch him, or did you drop him a little bit? Did he bounce? What happened? And then coming back to the presence of being there, holding my son. The vulnerability of life, imbalance in my hands, of his absolute dependence on me for him to survive. And it was such a humbling experience. All of my put-togetherness faded away in that moment. My beautiful suits, my beautiful words that I share with people, all of that faded away. And then we walked into the bedroom. Jackie's walking now with us. And we lay down together. I'll do it over here. We lay down together. It's my beautiful partner. We're laying down there together. There's still gunk that I don't know how to explain everywhere. All of these towels are like drenched in gunk and blood. And then one of the midwives takes this beautiful photo of us, covered in gunk, covered in sweat. We have this beautiful photo of our baby boy, minutes old. And that changed me. That experience changed me. And I didn't recognize how much it changed me until I went to a personal development event. You can go back now, thanks.
You're very special.
I know. I went to this personal development event and did this activity where, you do your eulogy. And I've done that activity dozens of times throughout all of the years of personal development I've done. And I did this activity, and it was the first time that it was different. Because every year, every time that I did that, every time before that, it was all about, this is what my success was going to be. This is how I was going to impact the world. And I was at this event and I did that activity, and all of those things were 10 things down the list. And it was just like, what's the family that I'm going to be creating? What's the life that I'm going to create with my family? And I recognized that in that moment, catching my son was that initiation into a life valuing family. And that's a moment that I reflect on many, many, many times. And many of you will have those moments in your life too. So on reflecting back to those, we'll remember what we're here for. Aho.